Barak Yahweh, Barak Yahweh Shah, Yahweh Bahashem, Yahweh Shah, Bahashem, Kurhak Dash. All praises, honor, glory, love, respect, faith, and power, and trust, and all credit to my Heavenly Father, Yahweh, and my Heavenly Big Brother, Yahweh Shah. Thank you so much for what you've done, what you're doing, and what you're going to do. Double honors to the apostles and elders and bishops of GMS, Great Millstone, who I learned from, and all the men scattered all over the world, teaching this truth and none but the truth in the name, spirit, and the power of Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shah. Trying to put a spiritual bug in you Hebrew Israelites' ears, you so-called blacks, Latinos, Hispanics, Native Americans, Seminole Indians, and you speckled birds. And what is a speckled bird? That be a Hebrew Israelite that look like some of the heathen nations, like for example, a Hebrew Israelite that look like a so-called white person, so-called Chinese person, etc., etc. Got some videos lined up with the Lord's plagues, and I'm not playing them in any particular order, but just playing what the Lord is doing, playing videos of showing you what the Lord is doing. And that's it. Anyway, I'm gonna play these videos. I'm gonna get into the scripture my best ability, say whatever God say through spirit and power, Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shah, the Holy Spirit, the Kurhak Badash, Lord willing be on me. Let's get it.
शिवाज का दीदी के मौजूद वाले
Flames tear through the Costa Brava tonight as an out-of-control wildfire scorches more than 2,300 hectares of Catalan forest. What started as a routine road repair near La Bisbal d'Empordà on Friday morning has exploded into one of the most dangerous fire events Girona province has seen in years. The blaze ignited around 9:17 in the morning, apparently sparked by an angle grinder being used illegally during roadwork on the GI-660 highway.
Really? That shit started off with an angle grinder. Whatever. And that remind me, here in Georgia when they had the wildfires, and I don't know how far deep in the southern part of Georgia, what's his name? The governor, Tom Awesome. This fire started from some guy had been welding his fence. You know, he was welding his fence, and the sparks caused the fire to ignite and all that other shit. Or either I forgot what else they said. Whatever, just a bunch of shit.
Within hours, dry vegetation and gusting Transmontana winds turned a small spark into a wall of fire racing toward the ecologically sensitive Les Gavars mountain range, a 350 square kilometer green corridor separating Baix Empordà from Gironès. By Friday evening, the situation had spiraled far beyond initial estimates. Firefighters watched helplessly as the flames jumped containment lines again and again, driven by wind gusts that refused to let up.
Well, I'm gonna start right there. That's going on in Spain. And there's many fires. It's just so much going on. Hold on, you got this one here in France. Shit, might as well go ahead and get that too.
Over 900 hectares burnt in less than 24 hours in the southern region of France near the border with Spain.
When I was on the road, the fire had just started behind the hill, and in 2 hours it was here. I've got a tractor that's still being paid off, and it's been burned down. I've lost everything.
The flames spread rapidly, fueled by strong winds and drought conditions following heat waves in May and the end of June.
We're facing highly unfavourable conditions with temperatures above 34 degrees centigrade, 20% humidity and winds gusting up to 70 and 75 kilometres an hour.
Several other fires broke out on Wednesday, including 2 on the outskirts of the city of Marseille, where French Prime Minister Sébastien Lecornu held an emergency meeting on Thursday afternoon. He warned this year's fires had started unusually early.
They are 15 days to 2 weeks ahead of the usual period. We've already seen almost 7,000 wildfires since the start of the season, with 8,700 hectares already burnt, 1,200 of them just yesterday not far from here.
France's weather office has warned that another spell of extreme heat could hit the country next week.
Yep.
This highway in Spain now leads towards an inferno. Just one of many wildfires burning across Western Europe. In France, similar conditions in the southwest, driving through thick smoke near Béziers. Where further down the road, the fires are dumped on. Right next to the highway. Traffic at a standstill, but with their own air show, as emergency teams struggle to keep the flames under control. Thousands of firefighters have been battling wildfires across parts of France, Portugal and Spain, including this one in Catalonia, which was burning out of control, consuming hectare after hectare. Thousands have burned across the 3 countries so far, and here, thousands of people told to stay indoors to avoid the smoke. Others have been moved on completely. These are among 1,500 tourists from campsites evacuated in places like Canet-en-Roussillon in France, 50 kilometres from the Spanish border. Many of their belongings have been destroyed by the flames.
It feels as if we are in a bad movie. We don't really realise that it has happened. We realise that we have lost everything, that there is nothing left. It's difficult to accept.
In Portugal, near Vuzela in the north, strong winds have worsened the speed and scale of the flames, with 2 seriously injured. Here, they've had help from Spanish firefighters from across the border. So fast is the spread, at a speed covering the equivalent of more than 800 football pitches an hour. The World Meteorological Organization has warned that record temperatures across Europe would worsen the risk of wildfires, and this only the start of the season.
Yeah, it's only the beginning. Shit, the Lord just cracking his knuckle or even scratching his head. I don't know, blinking, I don't know, just making it seem small. That the Lord can do anything so big on this level of destruction. Let's get to the next video.
Well, we have a little bit of a problem because now the entire country is being put on high alert, but for one reason: our heat. I want to explain what's happening because right now we are experiencing a lot of high or record temperatures over on the East Coast. And as a result, the grid operator PJM Interconnections, they are ordering emergency steps to avoid large-scale U.S. power outages. That's what they have been doing over the last several days. And they have been curtailing power usage to some data centers and other businesses. But here's the thing. That's on the East Coast, and a lot of people in the Midwest and on the West Coast are thinking, well, this isn't going to impact me. I don't need to worry about this. But then this is what we're seeing now. The heat dome is going to flip from the East Coast to the West Coast next week. Yeah, that's what's happening. We are about to see this heat dome go from covering the East Coast to now it's going to cover what we're seeing now. The heat dome is going to flip from the East Coast to the West Coast next week.
Yeah, I just wanted to go back and show you this. That's why I went back. Anyway.
Yeah, that's what's happening. We are about to see this heat dome go from covering the East Coast to now it's going to cover the West Coast, and it's going to hurt millions of people. I've been warning people of this over the last week, saying this is coming, to prepare. Make sure you buy a fan, an air conditioner, something to just stay cool. Make sure you cover your windows in your house. Make sure you have some type of good drapes so that you aren't seeing the rays coming in. That's exactly what I said. And some people are saying, well, I don't have to worry because I'm on the West Coast. Well, let's read this. Look at this right here. It says a dangerous heat wave continues in the east into the 4th of July. Changes are on the way that will ease the heat in the east and allow it to build in the west. The western heat will precede the annual monsoon. Okay, I want to show you a little bit of the charts here. So it says at the start of the week, a massive heat dome built over the middle of the nation and has been slowly shifting eastward since. The next phase of the heat dome will be for it to shrink in place over southeast this weekend. And you kind of see where it is right there. as the heat dome weakens, thunderstorms will progress across the Midwest and the Northeast, and you can see kind of where it's happening, okay? So, not too bad. But then this is where we're at, okay? Look at this. July 3rd through the 9th, this is what we're about to see, okay? You see the jet stream right here. Here it goes. So it's going to have, you got the heat dome, the round of thunderstorms over here. It says, as the jet stream bulges northward in the west, an area of high pressure will build over the region. The setup will allow temperatures to trend upward, initially from several degrees Fahrenheit next week to 10 to 20 degrees above the 30-year average by the middle of July. This is what we're expecting, okay? It says the heat dome will bring the highest temperatures of the season so far, even eclipsing the extreme marks set during the spring heat waves in Phoenix, Las Vegas, and Palm Springs, California. Do you remember that? Okay? Do you remember that spring heat wave where it was crippling to many people? In Phoenix, garbage cans were melting. They were seriously melting. I don't know if I can pull up a video really quick. Let me see if this one pulls.
Yeah, they hurry the hell up. They like, shit, let's get off this shit. Go. Oh man, this is gonna be bad for this little guy right here. Shit. He went scoop.
What the hell? Is that hot here?
Man, I know damn well this can't be real, bro. This can't be fucking real, bro. If this shit was melting, somebody bent this shit, man. This can't be real, man. If this shit was real, motherfuckers be dead. If a shopping cart, all metal shopping cart, unless that shit was plastic, if all metal shopping cart was like looking like this due to the heat, everybody would be dead. They're fucking dead. Get out of here. Now I don't know.
I think it might be a little bit hot today.
Seriously? What the hell? Is that hot?
Yo, I believe it's some energy weapon type shit going on with I don't know, people just hitting certain areas and melting things. I don't know.
Yeah, that's what was happening in Arizona earlier this year. During the spring, you were seeing things like some of the shopping carts were seriously folded. And it wasn't anything other than just the heat. That's all it was. Even garbage cans. Okay, garbage cans.
It's gotta be more than just, I mean, the heat. There ain't no way in hell the heat from the sun is making that happen. I mean, it can happen, but I mean, but everybody gonna have to be dead. Everybody gonna have to be on fire or disintegrated or some shit. Shit. No, that's some direct energy type shit.
Were melting. Sitting on the pavement, they were sitting there melting. It was that hot. And now we're hearing that this is going to even eclipse the extreme mark set in the spring in Phoenix, Las Vegas, and in Palm Springs. Again, trouble it. Look at this though. Okay, this is the map right here. This is from July 10th through July 15th. So next week in 7 days, that's what we're going to see. Okay, it says right here, highs will be in the low to mid 90s in Denver much of next week, but may reach upper 90s to near 100s by next weekend. In Salt Lake City, highs will mainly range from the mid 90s to near 100 next week, and then are likely to be in the low 100s the following week. Yeah, it is going to be excruciating next week here on the West Coast. But again, I'm bringing this up because of the one report from PJM. Okay, when they are currently taking emergency steps to avoid a large-scale U.S. power outage, we're going to see the same thing here in the West Coast, in the Midwest. Texas, you better brace for power outages, especially as we see this come through. And again, you don't think Texas is going to get hit? Let me show you this really quick. Let me just show you what it's going to look like. Okay, here we go. So yeah, this is showing that it's strengthening, but this is northern Texas. So not southern Texas over here. Okay, not over here in the Houston area, but northern Texas is going to get hit with some very, very high temperatures. So here's my advice to you. First off, make sure you're buying an air conditioner or a fan.
Yo, it's got to be some more than I mean, hell, it's got to be more than this. And like I'm saying, all that shit they showing you that's melting and it's sitting sideways, all that. I mean, come on, bro. This got to be a fucking. These niggas are putting down some energy, using energy weapons. But anyway, I mean, I have to restart this.
University of Phoenix has.
I got another video I want to add in. I couldn't add it in because YouTube being a bitch. Well, let's get to this next one.
To every business owner, please.
This was like a couple days ago.
Set your thermostats to 78 degrees to alleviate the stress on our power grid. Every worker in New York City has the right to a safe workplace, and that includes safety in extreme heat. For New Yorkers looking for other ways to stay cool, our Parks Department offers hundreds of spray showers and thousands of drinking fountains.
You know damn well these motherfuckers ain't gonna bother listen to you what you gotta say.
Across the 5 boroughs.
Or either care.
They also maintain about 50 free outdoor swimming pools with general hours of operation between 11 a.m. and 7 p.m. And during the heat emergency, Olympic and intermediate-sized pools will be open until 8 p.m. To find one near you, go to nycgovparks.org/facilities. Our 14 miles of public beaches will also remain open during this heat wave, with lifeguards on duty between 10 a.m. and 6 p.m. And for those who want to keep cool with a fire hydrant, anyone 18 or older can obtain a free, city-approved fire hydrant spray cap from their local firehouse. However you plan to spend these next few days, the best way to stay up to date is by signing up for Notify NYC. All you have to do is to text Notify NYC to 692-692. Finally, we know that these temperatures are arriving during what should be a week of celebration, gathering, and outdoor fun. New York City is welcoming the world this week with World Cup matches,
anyway.
4th of July events, and Sail Forth 250 commemoration.
What the fuck? Now, I have to start this over. The whole Firefox, because YouTube is acting like a bitch right now. It's laggy. When I want to pause the video, it doesn't pause in time. There's a delay. And what is this? I guess it's another video I can add in. Let me go over to here real quick. I actually need to save that. Yeah, I didn't want to go into work today because I was like, man, fuck that shit. It's going to be hot as hell. And I got to use the push mower. I'm like, these people can wait. Sometimes I hate when I feel guilty. I didn't go out and cut a yard or whatever. I'm just like, nah, I got to look out for my damn self. Fuck that shit.
Earth's best new big kid snacks are baked with good stuff. So whatever their next adventure,
Problems also continue across the city, leaving many customers in the dark. The brutal heat wave is to blame. Right now in the Bronx, just over 600 people are without power. And then in Staten Island, the number is just over 6,000. In Brooklyn, more than 6,000 as well. And then in Queens, more than 15,000 people are without power. To help get things back online, electric service was shut off temporarily in several neighborhoods in Queens. Andrew Ramos spoke to businesses that were caught off guard.
As you can see, all our merchandise melted. It was a race against the clock for businesses along Cross Bay Boulevard in Howard Beach Friday, where the power went out and shop owners scrambled.
We have over $8,000 merchandise. They're going to melt it.
The inventory and the promise of what should have been a big revenue weekend was dissolving for this Italian shop managed by Sabrina Ali.
Cannot take a credit because we have no power.
Watching it melt. Joy Russo, who owns the Ragtime Quick Shop next door, was in the same boat, where fresh goods were going bad.
July 4th weekend, you expect to have a bang-out weekend. The weather's going to be good, and then you hit with this.
The pair among the thousands that lost power Friday. Con Edison said it was forced to temporarily shut off electric service to nearly 10,000 customers in Southwest Queens in an effort to make quicker repairs and prevent extended and widespread outages in other parts of the borough. But for mom and pop businesses, it meant foregone earnings and
yeah, they're gonna be gone for good. Yeah, they almost gone completely.
Disappointed customers who were turned away.
I didn't want to cook for me tonight, so now we got to go somewhere else.
In addition to the homes and businesses impacted by the outages, we're told that some traffic lights here in Howard Beach have been out since 2:30 this afternoon, leaving NYPD to come in and direct traffic.
Con Edison insists it's working around the clock to restore service in those impacted areas. Meantime, some opted to make the most out of a sticky situation, converging at city public pools like Gottsman Pool in Central Park to beat the heat.
It feels like the desert. It's kind of worth it because my birthday's today.
We're going to have some fun in the sun. That's my expectation.
Well, anyway, some of that fun going to be, I don't know, it's going to be a disaster when this shit hits nationwide. I don't know how it's gonna be like, but that's the first. That's what's on my mind right now. This is some little local small shit, but wait till it hits nationwide. And I don't know what will cause a power outage, but most likely I don't know about the heat. But these niggas here, they'll just cut it off by the flip of a switch. But anyway, let me get another video about this power outage.
In life.
All right, as many are celebrating the holiday, as we just heard about from Chris and Cameron, thousands are facing dangerous heat and widespread power outages. Officials in New Jersey say that as of Thursday, 19 people have now died, believed to be of heat-related conditions and concerns. Back here in the city, Con Edison is reporting more than 4,000 customers without power. Nearly 300 people have been treated in the emergency room in the city for heat-related issues. News 4's Charles Watson joining us live in South Richmond Hill, Queens, with more on the impact on families tonight. Charles.
Yeah, Miranda, folks who live near or on 107th Avenue here in South Richmond Hill feeling a lot better right now after Con Edison was able to restore power to at least some of these neighbors. You can see the utility has placed this mobile power generator out on the street to possibly help these folks get out of the dark a little sooner. It's certainly a break for people who live in this neighborhood as crews continue to make repairs to equipment that just couldn't stand up to the heat.
The 4th of July bringing the heat with yet another day of 90-plus degree temperatures bearing down on New York City and the rest of the tri-state area.
It's hot. Like the walk from my workplace to my car, terrible. So I can imagine being in the heat for hours and hours.
That was and continues to be the reality for thousands of New Yorkers who in some cases have been in the dark for days as Con Edison deals with equipment issues related to extreme heat and high demand. At last check, more than 4,000 of those outages affecting Con Edison customers across all 5 boroughs, including nearly 2,800 in Queens.
It was horrible. I was out and I came back. We didn't have any outlets that were working. Couldn't use the stove. AC was off. It was like hell, if I'm being honest.
Fortunately for Kiana Michelle and her family, they can celebrate the 4th of July comfortably. Their power restored about 30 minutes before we showed up, following more than a day without service and suffocating heat and humidity.
We literally were screaming outside the window, like, thank you, just screaming, thank you, clapping, and just literally giving.
You ain't thanking the Lord. Oh, they probably like, thank you, Jeebus. Jeebus. Thank you, Jeebus. Oh, shit.
Michelle.
This family hitting the pool in the front yard to keep cool, though they say the power outage they've endured has put a bit of a hamper on their holiday celebrations.
We lost a lot of food because, we had a barbecue planned for the holiday, and, we were looking into getting compensated. I mean, people should be getting compensated because, it's a holiday weekend. People spent a lot of money.
Man, get the fuck out of here.
On preparation.
I ain't stand that shit. Man, get to the next video.
Hey everyone, I'm Uriah Kaiser with Virginia Insider. It is a hot one here in Virginia today with temperatures actually over 100 degrees. I think it topped out near 105 where we are where we were near Fredericksburg today. Now we're down here on the northern neck of Virginia, on the northern neck peninsula. It's not much better. We're still at 95, 98, so it is summertime, and of course it is Independence Day weekend. I hope that you're out having a fun.
Oh my goodness.
At least 15 years. And what do you know? Richmond out of water again. This morning we learned that there was a problem with Richmond's water system. Of course, this is reminiscent of the winter of 2025 when the entire system went down for days. This is a major American city and run by Democrats for years.
Oh yeah, they gotta throw that out there, run by Democrats. Who gives a fuck about politics? Shit.
And they can't even keep the water system on in one of the times where people need water the most. It is hot outside. We're going to go now to the richmonder.org. Water restoration achieved full repairs to take several weeks. I'm going to read this story here to you. A broken water main caused water pressure to drop across Richmond overnight, with residents in several neighborhoods reporting little to no water as of early Friday morning. The city's Department of Public Utilities first noticed a low pressure about 1:30 in the morning. In a 10:30 a.m. statement, the city said temporary repairs have been made that have restored service, though, quote, some customers are still experiencing low pressure. The city spokesperson said the water remains safe to drink across the city and in portions of Henrico County served by Richmond Water Treatment Plant. At 2:36 a.m., the city sent out a message through its alert system saying crews are responding to the report of a water main break at the Trafford Pump Station and West Hampton Pump Station. However, that alert turned out to be inaccurate. The second message said the break, which came on a 3-foot line, was identified as being parallel to the canal. The city has not identified the exact location of the break, but officials said in the downtown area it's near the flood wall north of the James River. It's a park. So not only can Richmond not keep its water on, but it also can't figure out how to do a fireworks show on the nation's 250th birthday, when temperatures will not be near 100 degrees. I've got the weather forecast for you. We're going to get into this article too, because the fireworks show in Richmond was not rescheduled. It was not postponed. It was not put on pause. It was straight up canceled. Ended. Done. Kaput.
Yeah, just like America going to be canceled. ended. Done. Shit.
See you later. No fireworks in Richmond, Virginia.
Oh, let me see. Anyway.
For the 250th anniversary of this nation's birth. So, reading a Twitter post from Occam Razor, the city of Richmond has run out of water again, and Rico County.
Anyway, they having their problems. Shit, everybody else having problems. Hey, and it's all coming from the Lord, plaguing you damn people. Not just in America, Babylon Great, but all over the world. What's going on here in, what is this, Mubu, India, I guess. I don't know.
The Mumbai and its extended suburbs are reeling under some relentless monsoon rain with widespread waterlogging, disrupting normal life across the financial capital. The low-lying areas in Matunga, Juhu and Vasai remain completely inundated. Several roads have been shut by the authorities and several local train services have been affected. A red alert has also been issued by the Indian Meteorological Department. And for cities such as Mumbai, Thane and other suburban parts, there's a warning of heavy to very heavy rainfall over the course of the next 24 hours. In the last 7 days, 3 people, including a child, lost their lives due to the incessant rains. The Maharashtra Chief Minister Devendra Fadnavis has urged the residents to stay indoors unless it is absolutely necessary for them to step out. Fadnavis said that the state government has now directed emergency service agencies to remain on high alert and respond swiftly if the problems arise. Now, the government as a precaution, has also shut down schools in the city. Now, despite the poor visibility, rough seas and continuous rain, the Indian Navy has carried out a successful medical evacuation of an injured seafarer from the crude oil tanker off the Mumbai coast. A Sea King helicopter from the INS Shikara airlifted the sailor to shore.
Alright, what is this? Alright, move on. What is going on in Vietnam?
On the evening of July 4th, 2026, Typhoon Number 1, internationally designated as Typhoon Maysak, officially crossed the coastal threshold of northern Vietnam, making direct landfall over Mong Khai City, Quang Ninh Province. The National Center for Hydrometeorological Forecasting confirmed that the eye of the storm breached the coast at approximately 7:30 p.m. on July 4th, 2026. At the time of its catastrophic transition onto land, the system maintained sustained wind velocities corresponding to levels 8 and 9 on the Beaufort scale, ranging between 62 to 88 kilometers per hour. More dangerously, convective cloud bands wrapping around the eye triggered violent, localized gusts that peaked at level 11. The defining characteristic of Typhoon Number 1's landfall was its exceptionally low forward translational speed. Upon colliding with the terrain of Mong Khai and the northern border region, the storm system slowed to a crawl, moving at a mere 5 to 10 kilometers per hour. Meteorologists observed that during the midnight hours spanning July 4th and the early morning of July 5th, the typhoon became nearly stationary, standing still, directly over the urban core and coastal sectors of Mong Khai. This prolonged stalling meant that infrastructure was subjected to intense, unbroken wind battering and torrential precipitation for over 8 consecutive hours. The massive cloud system associated with the southern flank of the typhoon's circulation unleashed immense atmospheric moisture over Mong Khai City and adjacent border districts. Rain gauges across the municipality recorded concentrated short-duration downpours exceeding 200 millimeters, with certain isolated coastal monitoring stations tracking cumulative volumes approaching 300 to 450 millimeters. Sudden influx of water immediately overtaxed municipal drainage systems, triggering extensive urban inundation.
Alright, enough of that. Let's see what's going on in Illinois. State of Illinois.
I'm a first-generation college graduate and earning my degree online from Oregon State University.
The Chicagoland metropolitan area is currently grappling with the severe aftermath of a consecutive, multi-day severe weather outbreak. A volatile atmospheric setup has unleashed a train of severe thunderstorms across northeastern Illinois and northwest Indiana. These systems have produced destructive straight-line winds, peaking between 70 to 80 miles per hour, relentless cloud-to-ground lightning strikes, and unprecedented torrential rainfall rates. The National Weather Service, NWS, in Chicago, has issued multiple flash flood warnings encompassing Cook County, Will County, DuPage County, and portions of neighboring Indiana. The timing of this severe weather sequence has caused widespread disruption to infrastructure, major transportation hubs, and highly anticipated Independence Day holiday celebrations. The severe weather event is driven by a slow-moving, moisture-rich frontal boundary interacting with a highly unstable air mass characterized by high convective available potential.
I'll just say it is powered by the Lord, and the Lord is, all that scientific talking, all that bullshit, nigga, it's plays of the Lord. Anyway.
Energy, CAPE, values, and strong deep layer wind shear. This environment has facilitated the development of training thunderstorms, a phenomenon where multiple storm cells continuously move over the exact same geographical areas like cars on a train track. As a result, localized rainfall totals have quickly escalated, with some sectors of Chicagoland recording an astronomical 3 to 5 inches of rain within a very short time frame. The primary hazards associated with this specific system include microbursts and intense squall lines mimicking tornado-like damage, precipitation falling at rates exceeding 2 inches per hour, easily overwhelming urban drainage systems, high-frequency electrical discharges causing structural fires and utility failures. The combination of ferocious wind gusts and saturated soil has led to a catastrophic number of downed trees, snapped utility poles, and severed power lines. Major energy provider ComEd reported that tens of thousands of customers across the metropolitan area lost power simultaneously. Emergency utility crews are working around the clock, but the sheer volume of tangled debris and blocked roadways has slowed down the restoration process in the hardest-hit suburban subdivisions and city neighborhoods. The deluge has completely saturated the ground, turning roads into fast-moving rivers and submersing low-lying underpasses. The structural impact was vividly captured at the historic Wrigley Field, where torrential rains completely overwhelmed the stadium's infrastructure.
All right, that's what's going on in the state of Illinois. I don't know what city this is in, but Chicagoland? Yeah, Chicagoland. I see what's going on with this, with the Pacific Ring of Fire volcanoes erupting.
The probability of me understanding this is 0.
You should AI that with Copilot.
Explain it to me like...
Is something wrong on the Ring of Fire or with the Ring of Fire? I'm talking about the Pacific Ring of Fire because, wow, things are going crazy, but are they? So we have a deep magnitude 6.2 that hit Indonesia today. We have a shallow magnitude 6.1 hit near Japan. Anak Krakatau, I just reported about it, guys, you should see that video, by the way, was raised to alert level 3 out of 4 after renewed eruptions. Dangerous volcano. We remember 2018. Taal volcano. Watch that video behind me. Very, very impressive. In the Philippines showed fresh eruptive activity on camera. And this comes after Tonga has produced a huge, deep earthquake. We had several magnitude 7+ earthquakes recently, but Venezuela was struck by a rare doublet, 2 major earthquakes, only 39 seconds apart. Different faults, different volcanoes, different depth. One map. The active edge of the planet, we can say, is moving again. And let's start with Indonesia. Magnitude 6.2 just struck near Halmahera, close to Tobelo at about 121 kilometers.
And speaking of that, let's go get to it anyway. Let's go ahead and skip it. If you want to watch the rest of it, they go to title, they go to channel. It came out like yesterday, it's published. But go ahead and get and talk about the earthquakes in Indonesia, Japan, and Switzerland. And, you know, the obvious ones be up in Venezuela. Action-packed music right there.
Welcome back to the channel, World Earthquake Update. Japan experienced 2 recent earthquakes, a 6.0 on July 1st, 2026 at a local time of 9:08 p.m. and a 6.1 on July 3rd, 2026 at a local time of 2:04 p.m. The 6.0 occurred at a depth of 27 miles below the Earth's surface at 40.1 degrees north and 142.2 degrees east, placing it off the Iwate Prefecture coastline in the Pacific Ocean in northeastern Honshu, which is the largest island in Japan, and the 6.1 magnitude earthquake occurred at a depth of 6.2 miles at 25.6 degrees north and 125.5 degrees east, placing it amongst the Ryukyu Islands, and this earthquake occurred in between 2 smaller sets within the Ryukyu Islands, the Sakishima Islands and the Amami Islands, placing it in the East China Sea, actually closer to Taiwan than the main island of Japan. Now, tectonically, these earthquakes occurred in very different ways or processes. The 6.0 in northeastern Japan occurred.
Anyway, there was two earthquakes happened in Japan, or somewhere around those areas. Let's get to the last 2 or 3. Actually, 4. Last 4 videos.
Whether you're in the shop or fixing your own vehicle at home, Harbor Freight has the floor jacks and jack stands.
Hi everyone, I'm glad you're here. Thank you very much for joining me. Well, those near Lausanne, Switzerland are having a small earthquake swarm after a magnitude 3.3 earthquake occurred. Have you felt any of these earthquakes? There's a lot of reports on EMSC. This one occurred at 10:03 p.m. local time, and it started the sequence of earthquakes. Yep, the plates are moving. Here's another sign of stress that's building up. And small earthquakes do not release the pressure for anything that could come that would be larger. This area is capable of having large earthquakes, and there's been several large ones. Back in 1584, a 6.4. And also 1855, let me see if I can find that. Here we got 1940.
Anyway, if you want to watch the rest of this video, be my guest. There go the title, there go the channel. I just want to play the video, report the news, and get straight to the point. Let's get to this next one. And I'm going to get to the scriptures. I know I haven't read anything, but sometimes I do these videos, I get to the end. Because there's so much going on, I want to save the scriptures for last. Because pretty much it puts everything like say, all the videos I played, the scriptures talk about all the things that have been just recently shown, from earthquakes, storms, all that stuff. So it's like a bundle, I don't know how to explain it. Anyway, next video.
Venezuelan leader Hugo Chavez has once again accused the United States of playing God. But
I remember that. They're talking about it trying to kill him. He was over in, I think, Haiti. But if shit.
This time, it's Haiti's disastrous earthquake that he thinks the U.S. was behind. Spanish newspaper ABC quotes Chavez as saying that the U.S. Navy launched a weapon capable of inducing a powerful earthquake off the shore of Haiti. He adds that this time it was only a drill, and the final target is destroying and taking over Iran. The existence of a tectonic weapon has never been proved, but its use is often suspected by conspiracy theorists. For example, the leader of Georgia's Green Party accused Russia of being behind an earthquake on Georgian territory in 2002.
Up first, special guest Anya Parampil. She is a Washington, D.C. based journalist, contributor to The Gray Zone. She has produced and reported several documentaries, including on-the-ground reports from Korean Peninsula, Palestine, Venezuela, and Honduras. And she even wrote a book about Venezuela called Corporate Coup, Venezuela and the End of the U.S. Empire. Is currently ranked #1 on Amazon in the Venezuelan history category. Welcome to the show, Anya Parampil. Yes? Yes, it is.
You know how to sell my book better than I do.
Fantastic. She's here. Also, Kurt Mexican is with us, America's comedian. Kurt Mexican, the star.
It's Kabbalist, actually, Jimmy. I don't know if you know that.
I did not. No. Kurt is the star of Mystery Boys podcast. #1 on the charts.
Is it?
I don't know. It was at some point. It was. So I have. We want to talk about. There was an earthquake. There were actually 2 earthquakes in Venezuela, and as of July 3rd, the official death toll from the June 24th twin earthquakes, magnitude 7.2 and 7.5. Those are big. It stands at 2,595 deaths. The figure has risen steadily, with ongoing.
At least 2,000 people dead, or 3,000. Yeah, they shit.
Rescue
is up there.
recovery efforts. Key details: over 12,500 people were injured. Some missing. Tens of thousands remain unaccounted for, raising concerns that the final death toll could be significantly higher. Some forensic workers and officials on the ground believe the official count underrepresents the true number. The earthquakes caused widespread destruction, especially in coastal areas near Caracas and La Guaira. International aid continues to support search and recovery figures. So I just want to show you a little bit of this. This is satellite images from La Guaira. Am I saying that correctly, Anya? La Guaira?
La Guaira.
La Guaira. This is going to show you the devastation caused by the double earthquake. Let's watch a little bit of it. Boom. Whoa.
Suckers coming down like dominoes, bruh. Damn.
It looks like Lebanon and Israel.
Looks like they got bombed.
Bombing it, but it's not. It's an earthquake. Wow.
Everyone keep.
Ain't it crazy? That's an overhead satellite footage. Now they look, that's some damn good ass footage, but that ain't nothing. You know, they got greater, powerful, more technology than that.
Keeps asking me how I do my.
I think they said it was a satellite footage of, and you know they're gonna have satellite footage of this shit. If Esau caused, I mean, of course it's the Lord that's green lighting this earthquake, but Esau used an earthquake machine to start this shit. You know they gonna film this shit, overhead view, all kind of camera angles to see all the destruction, and they can have a little. I don't know what to say.
Podcast alone. The answer.
These niggas be having a damn orgy parties during the time when they about to do some blood sacrificing and shit.
Riverside. I get.
Wow, so that's some pretty heavy duty stuff. What are you hearing from Venezuela on the devastation, Anya?
That it's unimaginable looking at that. I mean, can you imagine the horror of the people that were inside those buildings? It's hard to even watch. And so it's been.
Yeah, you ain't got like seconds or minutes to do something. Shit.
Shock for my friends in Venezuela. You know, my closest friend there, Diego Sequeira, who I write about a lot in the book, he, you know, couldn't even get out in the first initial days because Caracas and La Guaira is like the epicenter of where it was. That's about a 45-minute drive away from Caracas. That's where the airport is. And that's where there was this capital city of the state there, La Guaira. It's not the capital of Venezuela, but of the state, the neighboring state. And that's where most of the destruction took place. And just to get there now is almost impossible because of the military and the fact that now it's a militarized zone, so people can't even get in or out. And so those are, you know, that's a friend who I'm relying on going out every day and just hearing how gradually he sees the reality of the devastation and how bad it is, because it's like you can't really process it until you just see it piece by piece. I don't even think that we can from these videos. And so but then at the same time, it's this very tricky, fascinating time for Venezuela politically, because they'd already kind of started this process of opening to the United States, partnering with the United States, questions about how close the current administration is with the United States, and the fact that they were conducting airstrikes on Venezuelan territory, the U.S. military was, before this earthquake. That was already a major red line that had been crossed in terms of the takeover of Venezuela's sovereignty or the destruction. And so for this earthquake to come just months into this soft coup, since the U.S. removed the elected leader and put in the vice president, yes, but has been changing the character of the country a little bit, the timing couldn't have been better for the objectives of the U.S. military to now be on the ground in Venezuela. You see American troops in Venezuelan military trucks, and you have the Israelis. For the first time, Israeli people allowed in Venezuela since 2008, when Chavez kicked the Israeli embassy staff out of the country in response to the war that Israel waged in Gaza that year in 2008. I forget which one that was. Of course, Max. This is where Max would know exactly the name of the operation. But Chavez ended relations with Israel at that time and has always. Venezuela since was always very vocal in its support for the Palestinian resistance, the axis of resistance, and very vocal in opposition to the Israelis. I mean, Maduro absolutely himself was very critical of Israel. And so now to see the government thanking Israel for their presence in the country, that's quite remarkable, because, you know, it's one thing to sit back and say they were hit by a catastrophe, you're going to take all the help you can get. I'm not sure if Iran, for example, would accept an Israeli rescue team if their country got hit by a devastating earthquake, but hopefully we never have to consider that. It's just, if they're there and then they're making your government thank Israel out of like every other country that's there, it just seems like it's almost a humiliation ritual at that point. And so that is very bizarre and extreme to see as someone who has covered this government or this movement of Chavismo for quite some time.
So you bring up, that's interesting, because there are reports of Israelis on the ground there. So I'm going to get to that.
I say that's conspiracy talk, and I have to object.
Okay. But we're going to get to that in a second. But first, the thing I want to bring...
I ain't going to play no more of this, but yeah, some things going on, but it's ultimately the Lord. I mean, Esau got the technology, whatever, but it's all by the will of the Lord. The Lord allows this to happen, or making these things happen using his angels, and he going to make it happen. This is judgment for you Israelites. Keep on worshiping Jesus Christos, your ass going to get killed. Let's get to the next one.
Lock in with deals.
Speaking about killed shit, well, this is about survivors.
Surviving under rubble for more than a week. It seems miraculous, but how? There have been some remarkable stories.
Well, the Lord. The Lord might have mercy. He's going to give you an ass whooping, but the Lord can show mercy upon his people.
Of rescues after twin earthquakes devastated part of Venezuela. So we wanted to speak to the person who tracked down some of the survivors and hear how some have managed to stay alive under collapsed buildings. The earthquakes hit La Guaira state on the 24th of June. Thousands of people are known to have died. Tens of thousands are still missing. They struck around 6 o'clock in the evening on the day of a
They celebrating and beating drums, and some people, they celebrating holding Jesus statues and shit. And the Lord shook their ass up.
National holiday, meaning more people were at home than on a usual weekday. Drone footage shows the level of destruction on the country's northern coastline. Countries from around the world have sent teams and equipment to help the rescue efforts.
Yeah, they help. But also, like the last video when they're talking about in Haiti, they had that earthquake. Don't forget about those missing children. They weren't missing because of the earthquake. They were missing because the help aid came along and snatched them children up, sex trafficking them children. And there been some women, and probably some men, but mostly children. Yeah. Because anytime aid comes along, keep a close eye on your children. Because you never damn know. These motherfuckers come around and your children be missing. They'll say, oh, they were missing because of the earthquake. No, they wasn't trapped in no rubble, nigga. Shit.
The United Nations says it's getting 10,000 body bags ready for the country. Rescue workers say the first 72 hours are crucial for finding people alive. And yet, long past that, many have been hanging on to hope, not least when a few rare, remarkable stories
Lord have mercy on that baby.
are heard. Alice Cuddy, our senior international reporter, has spent time in Venezuela, and her stories of rescues that seem to defy the odds have been some of the most read on the BBC News website this week. So I asked her more about them, starting with the story of Diana and her 18-day-old baby, Juan.
So Diana was doing the washing up at home when the earthquake struck, and she immediately rushed over to her 18-day-old baby, Juan David, to cradle him. She thought it would just be a short tremor, but the two were flung into the air. She said it was like flying, and they ended up under rubble. This was obviously terrifying. She screamed for help, and then she decided, I need to conserve my energy. The mother and baby were underground for about 30 hours, and eventually it was Diana's brother that coordinated the rescue efforts that got them out.
It was indescribable because I thought they were already dead. And when I saw him, I felt as though I'd been born again. When I saw my son, I couldn't believe it. I just thanked God. This is a miracle.
Everything was about my...
Yeah, Deuteronomy chapter 32, verse 39. Now I get into the scriptures. This video is almost over with. It's gonna be about that time to get into the how you can say it, the best part, the best part. Deuteronomy chapter 32, verse 39. See now that I, even I, am he, and there is no God with me. I kill and I make alive. You hear that? The Lord Yahweh Bashim Shah makes the decision who dies and who lives. I wound and I heal. Even that too. Neither is there any that can deliver out of my hand. Yep. You can't save anybody from Yahweh Bashim Shah. Only Yahweh Bashim Shah can be able to deliver you or kill you. He can send somebody out to save you, but you can't be like, oh, I can save myself. And like, okay, keep thinking that, nigga.
He was my motivation for me to be awake and alert. As long as he was alive, I was going to be alive. Every now and then I touched his nose to check he was still breathing.
We have lost almost everything. We are here, but we have lost our home. We will have to start from scratch. Back to work, yes, but with my family, that gives me motivation to carry on, to move forward.
Remarkable. Well, Alice also heard the story of 2-year-old Kleber Moran, who was pulled from rubble after 6 days.
So Kleber was at home with his mum and dad when the earthquakes hit, and the three of them were buried under rubble. Now, miraculously, Kleber was found after 6 days and was brought out and with no major injuries, with just kind of scratches and bruises. But really sadly, his parents are still underground. Kleber is now in the care of his auntie, who has vowed to look after him. She told me that she's going to care for him with a mother's warmth. But Kleber's auntie is still desperate that her sister is also found. She told me that she's certain that her sister would have been with Kleber under the rubble.
If God gave my child another chance, it's because he has a purpose in this world.
Hey, listen at it, look at it. What did she say?
If God gave my child another chance, it's because he has a purpose in this world.
Yeah, the Lord showing mercy. But then again, hey, the Lord might decide, I don't want to kill this person this way. I'm just going to whoop his ass or her ass, but then I'm going to kill you this way. Or then again, just whoop your ass, but then show mercy unto you some other way. I don't know. All I can tell you, man, what the hell is this? Are delivery robots more than help? I'm going to save this, because I got some videos about robots and AI, so I'm going to say that. But yeah, it's all about the Lord. Hey, like with Deuteronomy chapter 32, 39 say, see now that I, even I, am he, and there is no God with me. I kill and I make alive. I wound and I heal. Neither is there any that can deliver out of my hand. The Lord is the one, our Lord, Yahweh and Yahweh Shah, makes the decision who lives and dies, who get wounded or healed.
A friend of mine who lives there in La Guaira called me and said, Adriana, they pulled your nephew out. I threw myself to the floor. I started screaming and crying. I came to the hospital and they confirmed he was here. When I got in, he immediately said, she, auntie, that's what he calls me. He doesn't even have a single fracture. Everything was very good. Today he's giving me little kisses. He talks to me. He tells me where it hurts. I'm very grateful to the rescuers that found him. Super grateful. God bless them.
I think what's happened in Venezuela in the past week is absolutely...
Yeah. But for some people, shit, they in that spirit world. They sitting there and they in the spirit world, but they starting to see who they truly are and what the truth is. Let's get to this last one. With you Israelite women, oh yeah, you need to know this and hear this.
The Venezuelan quake really showed the power of God. I mean, I don't know if y'all saw the video of along the beach.
By the way, this coming from the Arrows of Indignation 144. Subscribe. Subscribe if you like to, but best if you do. There go the title of it.
Beach where all the crustaceans and the animals and the sea animals were like crushed under the rock. It was crazy. We like to blame these natural disasters on what people are doing at the time and why it happened to them. Although I'm a believer, a very strong one, what it made me think of was, first of all, the power of God, and second of all, the fact that all of us need to recognize that power. All of us need to recognize that God is in control, and that the little stick houses that we build and the cars we drive and all of these things that we build with our hands that we pull from his earth to build, because there is nothing that exists on earth that wasn't created from the earth. Everything that you look at when you go outside, all of it.
I want to stop real quick and say this. Isaiah chapter 45, verse 7. I form the light and create darkness. I make peace and create evil. I, the Lord, Yahweh Shema, shall do all these things. Yeah, that was some dark ass moment when that earthquake hit. And it's still dark for a lot of people. But the Lord did that.
Somehow was made from the earth. And we've taken all of these things and we've created our little homes, and we've created our cars and our plastics and our metals and our little gods, whether they're physical, mental, right? Anything can become a god. So as you worship the things in your life and you place them before God, before prayer, before reading, before worshiping Him, just realize that it's not about Him punishing those people. It's about the fact that His power is so strong that He has the ability to do that to any of us at any moment. There were so many people, thousands of people so far, who thought they would wake up to see tomorrow, and they didn't. In a few seconds, all those lives were taken. This can happen to any of us anywhere. He is showing that His power is unmatched by anything that we create, anything that we can do.
Esau, you should be taking notes. You should be noticing. No, not notes. You should take heed of what she's saying. Yeah. And really, hell, you shouldn't even have to take heed on what she's saying. I mean, hell, he should know automatically, but he doesn't. Anyway.
When He shows His true power, there is nothing that we can do in the moment.
But it's really you Israelites that need to take heed. Esau, he just gonna be a nigga, regardless. And this nigga, no matter what he think, he can fight the Lord. You Israelites should know better not to, and try to.
He made that earth rock, and He made people bow to their knees before Him. So it was truly a wake-up call for all of us. For all of us to see that God is not playing with us. And that's all that kept going on in my head when I've been watching the rescues and, sadly, all of the people who were found dead. And the only phrase that is in my head is, God is not playing with us.
But the thing is, you got to know their name, too, because she keeps saying God, but His name is Yahweh. He ain't got no title. And he damn sure ain't no Hashem. The name Hashem, no. It's not no Jehovah. It's Yahweh. And His son name's Yahweh Shah, not no fucking Jeba. That punk ass nigga with long hair, the Edomite devil, the slave plantation god. No, it's not him. It's Yahweh and Yahweh Shah.
Think about if we never would have built these skyscrapers and all these things that we need. We need all these things that we've created. We live in a time where we have to live so luxuriously. We have to live in, the largest skyscraper and have the best view. And when these natural disasters come, we can't even lift the cement that it took to build that. We can't even lift it to get to our loved ones. I want us to really try and change our perspective on this, especially believers, because believers are the first ones to be like, oh, I wonder what they did wrong to deserve this. We do stuff wrong every single day. And half of us don't place God first in our life. We don't. We place our kids first, our husband first, our job first, our bank account first, making sure we cook dinner every day first. I mean, even dinner can be placed before God. We can think about what we're going to make for dinner more than we think about God.
Be praying, but just as soon as you get out of bed, waking up in the morning, pray. I try to remember to pray first before I try to do anything, or if I'm doing anything, I'll pray at the same time while I'm doing it. Yeah.
We have to recognize His power and His ability to make us fall to our knees if we're not going to do it willingly.
Welcome back to the city.
Yep. Yeah, that video right there was at Resident Evil. That was like some audio book shit. I was going to play it and see what that's about. But anyway. What I got? Nahum chapter 1. Yeah, what the lady said, yeah, you better take heed. I know Esau ain't gonna take heed because he a devil. The Lord created him to be a disobedient nigga. A disobedient devil nigga. But you Israelites, you should know better. Don't mock the Lord. Don't shoo the Lord away. The Lord gonna shoo your ass away in the fucking bloody mess. Look how you doing to a lot of these people around the world. Cause hell, ain't nobody innocent, especially you talking about children. Ain't no shit. Hey, matter of fact, let me get to that. Don't, where is it at? I must have passed it. Alright, I'll just type in this instead. Here we go. Job chapter 4 verse, I haven't read this in a long time. Job chapter 4 verse 4, no, Job chapter 4 verse 7, remember I pray thee, whoever perished being innocent. Well, where was the righteous cut off? The point is ain't nobody innocent. If you die, I mean, no, shit. Yeah, no matter how old you are, young you are, you still gonna get it. It's been, like I said, it's been a while since I read this scripture. And the only time I read this is when I'm doing a judgment video. But yeah, man, the Lord is bringing a lot of judgment with these plagues. You better seek the Lord, man. Yahweh Bashim Awashah, and ditch all that dumb shit like them dumb idols like Allah, Buddha, Jeebus, all that bullshit. All these heathen gods, or they ain't even gods, they're just idols. What I'm supposed to be looking up? Oh yeah, I gotta go back to here. Yeah, all the floods and such, storms and such, it's all the Lord. Volcanoes, earthquakes, it's all the Lord. The blackouts is all the Lord. Nahum chapter 1, and wildfires, heat waves. Nahum chapter 1 verse 3, the Lord Yahweh. The Lord Yahweh is slow to anger and great in power, and will not at all acquit the wicked. So this is for the wicked of the 2/3 of Israel and you heathens. The Lord Yahweh have his way in the whirlwind and the storm and the clouds of the dust of his feet. Isaiah chapter 28 verse 2. Behold, the Lord Yahweh Bashim Awashah have a mighty and strong one, which as a tempest of hell and a destroying storm, as a flood of mighty waters overflowing, shall cast down to the earth with the hand. Isaiah chapter 29 verse 6. Thou shalt be visited of the Lord Yahweh of hosts with thunder and with earthquake and great noise, with storm, tempest, and the flame of devouring fire. What else we got? Oh, you know what? Let me get one more video. I got one more video. I threw bad timing to be throwing this in. I fucking played it.
Now the CDC is warning of a flesh-eating bacteria spreading in some of those waterways in Long Island, New York. The Vibrio bacteria, that's what it's called, can be found where fresh and salt water mix, and it can enter through an open cut or by eating raw or undercooked shellfish. Let me now bring in Dr. Omer Awan for more on this. He's a University of Maryland School of Medicine professor and Forbes Public Health senior contributor. Dr. Awan, as always, thank you for being with me. Walk me through what this is and how it's earned its, flesh-eating nickname here. It sounds awful.
Absolutely, Marky. Well, this is a very uncommon, very rare, but potentially serious and life-threatening infection. It occurs when people are exposed to this bacteria that normally lives in warm coastal waters. And there's really two ways you can get infected. One is if you get or you eat contaminated shellfish. That's the primary way you can get infected. The other is, as you stated, if you have an open wound or cut.
Yeah, or shouldn't be eating no damn shellfish anyway. None of them bottom feeders. They're shit eaters. And they supposed to cleanse they supposed to take care of stuff like that. And when you reduce reduce the population and all those things that people eat as a delicacy, it doesn't, these flesh-eating bacteria exist more and more. Because they supposed to be filters. The oysters, all that shit supposed to be filters of the ocean. They suck up all that stuff up. Yeah. But guess what? Man goes and take and scoop up all the shit eaters, all the filters of the ocean. There ain't nothing filtering the daggone ocean or filtering all these bacteria. Yeah. And you don't supposed to eat the shit. But anyway, do whatever you want to do, nigga. Shit. That's when you stubborn ass Israelite, I'm gonna eat my crab, shrimp, lobster till I die. And you will die when you're gonna looking fucked up, you all in pain, got parasites all in your body. Yeah, and the Lord told your ass not to eat that shit, but you stubborn niggas gonna do whatever. Anyway.
tattoo that then exposed to this warm, coastal waters. And depending on how you get it, that's how you get symptoms. So if you have shellfish that you've eaten, then typically you're going to have fever, nausea, vomiting, particularly abdominal pain. But if you have an open wound and you get infected, then you could potentially get a fever. You may have redness or swelling at that area. You may start to see blistering around your skin. And then this can become life-threatening because then in a small minority of patients, you can start to get something called sepsis. That's when your body gets overwhelmed by infection. Your immune system inadvertently really attacks your other organs, and that can potentially be very serious.
Yeah, and deadly too. I mean, it just sounds brutal. And just, to list a couple cases here that we've been following, a 50-year-old Mississippi man now reportedly fighting for his life after he was infected with this flesh-eating bacteria while he was fishing. Florida has at least 8 cases of the infection this year. The bacteria, as I mentioned too, also discovered on New York's Long Island. How fast does this move once someone is infected? Because we're hearing of cases where symptoms pop up just within hours.
Yes, it can move very fast, Mark. Yeah, exactly what you said, within hours. So I would say about within 16 hours is when you can first start feeling the infection. It can go up to days.
That's enough. But this is all the Lord, man. Seek Him and repent. Do the best you can. Do back to the scriptures. Matthew chapter 24, verse 7. For nation shall rise against nation and kingdom against kingdom. When you got wars, World War III, class wars, civil wars, race wars, gonna be breaking out. And also, there shall be famines, the lack of bread, food, and pestilence. You got flesh-eating viruses, shit. You got all kinds of stuff. You got parasites on your food, man. And earthquakes in diverse places. Lord shaking things up worldwide. All these are the beginning of sorrows. A lot of pain, hurt, and death is building up. And they're all the players of Yahweh Shema Shah. Let me get that script. 2 Ezra chapter 16, verse 37. Behold, the pledge draw nigh, and are not slack, as when a woman with child in the 9th month bringeth forth her son, with 2 or 3 hours of her birth great pains compassed of wounds, which pains, when the child cometh forth, they slack not a moment. Even so shall not the plagues be slack to come upon the earth. The world shall mourn, and sorrow shall come upon it on every side. So the north, south, east, west, no matter where you at, these plagues are hitting people in all directions of the earth. I don't know the best way to say it, but I'll just say it that way. But yeah, man, best thing you need to do is seek the Lord, though. And how do you seek the Lord? Seek Him by seeking His prophets and take heed what to say and try to build a spiritual mental relationship with Yahweh Shema Shah. By praying Yahweh Shema Shah, praising Yahweh Shema Shah, worshiping Yahweh Shema Shah, fearing Yahweh Shema Shah, and repenting to Yahweh Shema Shah. To all the men out there pushing this truth and nothing but the truth in the name, spirit, and power of Yahweh Shema Shah. Keep on preach, keep on teach, keep your faith and trust strong. Yahweh Shema Shah, and stay humble. And for you few sisters out there taking heed, keep your faith and trust strong. Yahweh Shema Shah. Stay humble, stay in order with your man. If you ain't got no man, stay in order. Yahweh Shema Shah. Peace and blessings to the hopeful elect and all praises to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shah. Shalom.